Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy.
We give you the courtesy of conversation
that's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Don't forget to like, listen, subscribe. Thanks to everybody that's been following the show. Thanks to everybody that listens to us. Thanks to everybody that talks mess to us, praises us. We appreciate you all. Catch us Sunday, every Sunday, 1 p.m. Pacific time. And we're going to start doing Friday shows. We're going to be a little different. All right? We're going to use the web network media. It's going to be the same guys, but we're going to be doing different stuff. Maybe a little bit of news, but we're going to be doing live topics and sports and all kind of stuff. So tune into that.
Have a little bit of fun. Actually, yeah. Big week coming up here. Over the next few days is going to be pretty crazy.
Yeah, the election.
You got Biden may have handed Trump a big assist with his garbage gaffe.
Really? Man, I got allergies, bro.
Jesus. Joe Biden had largely been an afterthought 1 week before the election, in which he'd once hoped to win a second term. Not anymore. With the imprecise attempt to defend Puerto Ricans from attacks at Donald Trump's Sunday night rally in New York, the president on Tuesday inadvertently injected himself into the home stretch of the campaign and forced Vice President Harris into cleanup mode. The gaffe offered Trump an opening to turn headlines away from his own antics that add up to the most extreme closing argument of any modern presidential campaign. Biden mentioned Puerto Rico slandered as a floating island of garbage by comedian Trump's Madison Square Garden event, but his clumsy defense of the self-governing American territory and the vital swing voters in his dysphoria on the U.S. mainland sparked a new political firestorm and distracted from Harris's big closing argument speech against a White House backdrop on Tuesday night. Basically, he came out and he said that
Puerto Ricans ain't garbage. He said Trump's supporters are garbage.
I mean,
hey, look, they're 30%. His base is about 30% of voters. It's like strong base or whatever. And I mean, whatever, he said it. You know what I'm saying? Donald Trump says way worse stuff all the time.
All the time.
All the time. They made a whole little clip thing of him saying it, and then he was trying to say, "Oh, the enemy over there is just specific people." No, he's talking crazy about everybody.
I've gotten to a point where it's like this with me, honestly. I've always tried to be civil during any kind of political discourse. I try to always been like that. I'm at a point right now where I'm tired of being civil to people who are not civil.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I'm
bro.
done with that
these
shit.
People aren't civil. They're looking at us as the enemy. Yo, he right. Yo, whatever.
I mean, he's talking about locking people up, all kind of stuff. His supporters come out. The first few words they say, I'm trying to tell you, every time I get into any kind of political argument online, it's always when you're talking to a Trump supporter, they come out with, "Oh, you must be a stupid son of a," or you're this some kind of some childish ass.
That's internet talk, though.
But it doesn't matter. I mean, I've never done it. They're not going to talk to me like that.
Yeah, bro, I'm going to
talk
crazy to you all the way from the safety of my couch.
But what I'm saying is, you're consistently dealing with these people, and this is how they talk about everything. So it gets to a point to where, you know what? I'm done being civil. I'm done being civil in the way that I talk about knowing that they don't want us to teach about slavery in schools, knowing that they're trying to turn our historical books into fictional books and say this is fiction now, knowing that they're trying to basically take our rights away, and knowing that they're going to pull black people over in vehicles and tell them that they think they are illegal just so they can run through their cars or run through their homes when they go run up in their homes now. I know this is all going to happen.
And then shoot them if they get out of line, and they're going to have total immunity.
Absolutely.
There's no place for, especially us as black folks, bro. There's like, we can't be civil about this. I don't know how you saying you going to vote for a side. How you going to vote against your best interest? I mean, Democrats ain't going to do really nothing for you, but the other side going to do a lot to you.
I mean, I look at it like this. I've seen a lot more. I think that Kamala Harris's plan to build 3 million new homes, and sell them to people who are home buyers instead of selling them to corporations would do a lot. $25,000 to first-time home buyers would do a lot. A $6,500 tax credit for people who having their first child would do a lot. Those are things for people.
And Donald Trump said he was going to cut taxes on overtime, supposedly.
I mean,
but they're also going to get rid of Obamacare, or excuse me, the Affordable Care Act. Let's call it what everyone calls it now.
Let's think about when he started stating these things. He wasn't talking about any of this until he had to deal with Kamala Harris, who was actually talking about doing things for the people. You weren't talking about doing anything for the people before. You've been president before. Out of either of you two candidates, you've been president. You can say whatever you want. Kamala's this. She was never president. She had no say so. I've never met a vice president who had say so ever. Neither have you. You've never even been like, oh, well, Al Gore, you didn't do this in your first 8 years. No, Bill Clinton was president. Yeah, nobody worried about Al Gore. You don't even think about.
If he had say, he would have made masturbation illegal.
Who?
Mike Pence.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
just saying, bro.
I heard about that, though. I heard about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But all I'm saying is this right here.
Why you look at me like I'm talking crazy? I know what I'm saying.
I didn't know who you were. I thought you were talking about Al Gore.
No, Al Gore ain't tripping.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I thought you were talking about.
He was watching the door for Bill like, yo, she coming, bro. Hurry up.
No, I'm like, but the bigger thing is like, I mean, I've sit back and I listen to so many people who look like me that I'm having to have these discussions with. I talked to my brother about it too. He was like, I've never seen you get so hyped up. One of my friend who always talked to us about as well, he's like, man, I can tell this is kind of weighing on you, probably because I had a couple of.
Well, because it's going to affect us, just like they took away women's rights, right? Now, if democracy dies, it's going to affect foundational black Americans. They're going to stop teaching our history. We're going to be able to be harassed more, killed more in the streets, beat up, have our houses run through, all on the gust of white fear. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, we already had to live through that. I don't want to go back.
The biggest thing with me, too, is that when I talk about stuff, I'm not just talking for myself because I'm in a pretty decent position in life. I'm not like great, well off, but I'm good. I'm going to be good for a long time.
Me too. I got a lot of water, guns, and ammo and food in my house. So.
Bigger than that even. I'm just talking about, I ain't going to talk about all that, but bigger than that even financially, I'm going to be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking at the rest of our people. That's who I speak up for. I speak up for the people who may not have the knowledge or the understanding of what's happening, because right now black people are on the bottom rung when it comes to economic success in this country for a number of different reasons. We've done well for ourselves, but we come from absolutely zero, weren't given anything. Everyone else ahead of us have been given something. Believe that. Or have a home base very near this country or came here later on down the line off of our backs. So therefore, I have to look at things like them removing the Department of Education, how that's going to affect our communities. I have to look at things like that. I got children. I have people I have to worry about in life. So that's the people who I speak up for, the ones who may not understand or the ones who can't speak up for themselves. That's why I worry about, child care. That's why I worry about people being able to have some type of a leg up when it comes to any kind of social assistance and things of that nature. That's why I worry about those things. And the people who I feel like worry about those things are Democrats. You know what I mean? But Biden, man, this guy right here, I like Joe Biden for as far as his policies, but he's always been a gaffe king. If you go back and you look at when Joe Biden was running for president in 2020, I was going to vote for Bernie Sanders, even though I don't even really 100% agree with Bernie Sanders. But I liked him better because I'm like, Joe Biden, he lets a lot of dumb stuff fly out his mouth, but he's a very, very, very good statesman. Bless you.
Thank you. It was already
Christ,
there.
What we got going on here?
I mean,
but he's one of the best statesman presidents that I've seen thus far. Joe Biden is.
At this point, you know what I'm saying? Everyone's had their minds made up. And the fact that the race is so close should just open everyone's eyes. It's like, we're not going to be the same. I talked to a gentleman today on the phone. I'm like, let's handle our business on Monday. Because, after Tuesday, we're not going to be the same place. We're not going to be the same people.
Yeah, it's going to be tough,
families
man.
are split. I mean, you're going to vote for who you're going to vote for. I don't think anything's going to change. And someone was pointing this out, too. They're like, oh, it's crazy. Like, the Puerto Ricans didn't have, or the Latinos didn't have a problem with them talking bad about everybody else for so many years, and we told them they didn't like you. Then they make the comments, now you see. Now you want to join us. Oh, man, this is horrible. No, that's what they've always thought about you.
I mean, he's been saying stuff about...
At least the Democrats do stuff for you. They don't do nothing for the foundational black Americans because we still can't get an anti-lynching bill.
I don't want an anti-lynching bill. I like to see reparations done. That's what I worry about.
Can
and
we
you
get
can
both?
keep the anti-lynching bill. Give me...
So you just want to get your money and get hung for it?
Man, I don't know too many people getting hung on a regular basis. I don't, me personally. I haven't heard of it.
But
I would hear about...
Don't worry, they're going to say you killed yourself, suicide, somehow you strung yourself.
But you know what I would hear about?
North Carolina.
If all of us got a check or some way, shape, or form, I'd hear about that one. I'd be like, oh, you got your check too? Everybody be having their checks.
Nobody would know, but I mean, like,
but you know what I mean? But anyway, you know what I'm saying? But that's my personal opinion on it. This is, I saw Donald Trump. He comes out in the garbage truck. He's all, I'm here to pick up the garbage. To me, your supporters support misogyny, You know what I mean? That's not to say I'm a feminist, but to me, listening to a dude who always got something weird to say to women, like only time you ever can talk to a woman is when you got something, hey, you're a chick, blah, blah, blah. Like I never liked them type of dudes because to me, I know you're scared to talk to women in any other kind of way. So you try to do it loudly and abrasively to try to make it feel like, you know what I mean, try to make her feel uncomfortable. That's cornball shit to me. That's a corny type of dude to me. I never liked those type of dudes. And that's the kind of when you sit back and talk, she slept her way to the top. That's the weirdest shit to say to anybody. Like, are you serious, bro?
Someone said today, they were like, Donald Trump doesn't have any strong women around him.
I mean, it seems like most Republicans are good with that. And then the fact of Grant Cardone, who sells most of his products, tries to the hip hop, community or the inner city type of community, black people mostly, comes out and said her pimp handlers. You know what I mean? What do you think he's trying to insinuate by that? He should never be allowed back around our people again because we should point out and look at him like this is who you are. You know what I'm saying? You're, and then he tried to, I just can't, to me personally, man, that just looking at that type of language that they like to use. And I got another friend, he's like, this woman. It's a black dude I'm listening to.
The whole thing is like, for black folks, this woman, we need to have a power structure. And then it's a collation of the power structure that comes in. So when somebody does something sideways, we can excommunicate them from being around us in social settings and being in our social areas. You know what I'm saying? And then if the people don't abide by our rules, then we do something to them where they can't be in our areas. Shut down their platforms. Make sure they can't make no money. They have to stay offline. Make sure, you have to be able to have that structure where we can check people. Because that's the whole thing. We ain't got gatekeepers, and we need gatekeepers again.
It'd be nice to have somebody create not even saying it has to be a black necessarily like X type of, but a platform that we control. Because then bring all of our,
be lit.
It doesn't have to just be for us. I want it to be for everybody because you want all the money from around the world.
No, everybody be with us, but if it's owned by black folks,
if it started out as like you could go out and get all the people of color, all the entertainers, the actors, the athletes, all the influencers, and put them on this site first. Just get them going on the site. Man, it'll jump off, but that's what I necessarily think. But let's move on to the
so I got Elon Musk says Trump's economic plan could cause temporary hardships. Elon Musk, the world's richest person, was vaulted to the forefront of the presidential campaign as a top donor and impassioned speaker in support of former President Donald Trump. Still, Musk has said in recent days that the candidate economic plan could cause financial pain, well, at least in the short time. Among those proposals are potential formations of a new government efficiency commission to be led by Musk. The group would scrutinize federal spending and slash programs deemed wasteful. Speaking on a telephone town hall on Friday, Musk said spending cuts imposed by the commission would necessarily involve some temporary hardships. Ultimately, Musk added the cost cutting would ensure long-term prosperity. You have to reduce spending to live within our means. So basically, what they're going to start, Medicare. Social Security's gone.
Any kind of social programs are going to be gone.
They did this in Florida already with John DeSantis, excuse me. He cut out all the programs where they had like the arts, got rid of them all. So that's all gone. He's going to get rid of a lot of stuff. WIC, they're going to get rid of all that stuff. They're going to get rid of everything that helps out the poor people. So he's like, look for some hardships.
And he's talking, but he's basically talking to his consumer. They're like, "Oh yeah, we'll take those on." You guys are so. It's just, to me, man. Listening to certain people it's just idiotic to even hear you out. You don't understand like how society is set up. We can go to any other advanced nation and they have all these social programs. They have 4-day work weeks. They have 1 month you basically get off a year from your job, and they're doing just fine. We could have universal health care here. We could have that. We could have education, free education all the way through, basically through college.
We can have it where the kids get food, nutritious food at school.
They got it in Minnesota.
Kids should be free.
Do you know that Massachusetts has had universal health care? I believe since Michael Dukakis. He was their governor in the 80s. They had universal health care since then. You know what I mean? Like, you guys have had universal, and it's a state. They got that. You know what I mean? Minnesota has free lunch and breakfast for all their kids in school. This can happen. These are things that are already being shown. These things work. They work out for you. And we're not doing it as a nation. It just to me, because,
think about it. Like, and this also comes back, like, think about it if Donald Trump wins and he's allowed to implement all this crazy stuff that they're trying to do in Project 2025.
That's what he's looking for.
Democratic states are going to succeed. Think about it. Republican states are probably going to try to succeed after this election. That's why
I feel like they shouldn't have to pay federal dollars. They shouldn't have to give any money to the federal government. If you were willing to take away federal dollars from, because this is what, to me, but this is what he's trying to do. You know, this is what
I don't want Elon Musk anywhere near my country or my government. He's not an American citizen.
He's not at all. I agree with that too. What Putin once said was that
illegally.
What Putin once said he did too. What he once said was that basically the fastest way for America to break up is to break up from within.
Yeah, he
said this already. It has to be the splintering of the states. And now look what he's brought his little proxy in to do. To spread us apart, to break us apart by like, oh, well, California does this, I'm going to defund them. So if you defund California from federal dollars, what do they need you for? For what?
California sends the most money to the federal government.
It just doesn't make any sense, man. What he's doing it for a reason. This is because a splintering.
Putin told him, he's like, yo, break up America, and then I'll take it over, me and China, and we'll still let you rule. That's exactly what he told me.
I feel like this. He could say lay the groundwork for America to break itself apart. Lay the groundwork with the hate and everything that you're spewing, and then come in and start making programs that divide us by state. And once he leaves, it ain't going to matter. The groundwork is already there. You got states already talk about seceding for other reasons all the time. You're already starting to hear those rumblings, but it's coming from having such a divisive person on top who speaks nothing but garbage to everybody. He just spoke about Europe. He was like, oh, sweet, beautiful Europe. He thought, but they treat us so badly. We're going to have to put tariffs on them. But but when you spoke about Europe, you spoke about it in high regard. When you speak about nations that are of color, you speak about them in such low regard. There's a reason why you're doing this.
Some people shouldn't have power over other people. You know how when you call a number and you're trying to like make a medical appointment or you're trying to pay a phone bill or something, and that one person gets on there and they're acting an ass, but you got to deal with them because if you don't, you can't get what you're trying to do. Those kind of people shouldn't be in power. And that's what's going on right now. You have these kind of horrible people that look at that, I have something over you, so I'm going to hold that power. I had a lady do that one time. I went to Walgreens. I had a handful of change. Mm-hmm. And, I was buying some stuff. She's like, we can't accept that here. I was like, what did you say to me? She's like, well, you know what? I'll take it this one time. I said, no, get your supervisor. All my money's good. I don't care if I come in here with a roll of pennies.
The worst thing is to listen to Elon Musk talk about anything. You're not even really from here. You came here late. You're a part of an apartheid nation. You speak ill of black people all the time. Oh, that's racist. You shouldn't be allowed to be a part of anything to do with America. You came here illegally. You were an illegal worker here. You shouldn't even have been here. You lied on your application. That right there should preclude you from. They should take away your citizenship just for that. Just for that. You lied. You committed a crime. And that crime should be held over your head. That should be a permanent thing. Yeah. If you talk about people who come here, you call them rapists and murderers and all that. What about this dude who lied and said he had a student visa? He was going here to work and you came here. You're going here to come to school and you started working instead. Well, if anyone else would have done that who was not of pale skin, you would have been talking about something totally different with them. Oh, get him out of here. He committed a crime.
They should get him right now, shouldn't they?
Yeah, they should get his ass right now.
They should get him right now. Think about it. You lied to get in America no matter what you've done here.
Yeah.
Like you came here under false pretenses. You shouldn't have been here in the first place.
Period. And then you're gonna elevate that person to run something in our country. He's talking about he's gonna cut $2 trillion from our budget. You should not even be allowed to touch the budget. Yeah, you're not even from here.
You let somebody illegally migrated from here, from South Africa, start messing with the money. He shouldn't be touching nothing
at all.
He has too much control in America. He shouldn't even be
touching his money. You had to come to us as American citizens to bail your business out. That shouldn't even be, listen, we shouldn't even be listening to you at all, period. Nothing. Don't get me wrong. Your businesses are good, but you had to come to America to make sure we could bail you out of your problems. The American citizens. You shouldn't be allowed to talk about anything. You shouldn't have a say-so in anything. The same people you talk about, oh, that's racist, when talking about black people, helped you bail your racist ass out of your motherfucking problem. So let's think about it from that standpoint. Yeah. But anyway, I got another one here, man. It says machete wielding teen arrested after group is accused of intimidating Democratic supporters at Florida polling station, police say. Police arrested 18-year-old wielding a machete with an 18-inch blade outside a polling station in Florida on Tuesday, saying he was part of a group of teenagers accused of intimidating Democratic supporters. The teenager, Caleb James Williams, was arrested after 4 p.m. when officers were called to the Beaches Branch Library in Neptune Beach. Williams was arrested on charges of aggravated assault, accused of brandishing his weapon at two unidentified women ages 71 and 54 and improper exhibition of a weapon. Neptune police said. The local Democratic campaign said it was deeply concerned about the Tuesday's event, in which it said a group of young men waving signs supporting former President Donald Trump confronted a group holding signs promoting Vice President Kamala Harris. Police Chief Michael J. Key Jr. said at a news conference Tuesday night the officers found 7 juveniles and an adult in the library's parking lot. The investigation revealed the group arrived to protest and antagonize the opposing political side, he said. So this isn't the only thing that I've actually saw online about this.
Yeah, no, I got one here. A Texas man, he arrested for punching a poll worker who told him to remove his MAGA hat, which you're not supposed to have at the polling station. You can't wear political stuff when you go vote.
Yeah, this is normal.
That's a law.
This has been around forever. You can't wear buttons, nothing. They'll make you so you can't go vote.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if you want to.
Well, I mean, that one was in Texas. Then we have the other one. I don't know which area that was.
That was online. The one that you're talking about was actually online. They showed it everywhere. Where the dude was just yelling. And the worst part about it to me was the polling station was filled with nothing but black women mostly. You know what I mean? And that made me feel so like helpless for them. I was angry about it. Like, why aren't there some? We got to start getting up and going to our polling stations and being a part of the political process of being black men. Because there was nothing but like middle-aged black women in there, and they had to damn near fight a grown ass white man. Had there been any black man there with any kind of heart or whatever, had there been one black man there, oh man, it'd have been a problem.
That just shows you what kind of garbage people these are. Think about it. The first guy with the machete, who did he go after?
Two older black women.
79-year-old ladies.
Yeah.
That's who you attacking? You're a teenager. Why don't you go after some men that are bigger than you? Because, if you're really big and bad, like the person you follow, you ain't looking for help as old ladies. You know what I'm saying? You're looking for somebody bigger than you.
These are teenagers going after 71 and 54-year-old women.
This guy in the polling station, he going after women. After women, that's a bitch-ass pussy move.
You say,
you know what I'm saying? That's as consistency is what I see. You go after weaker targets because you can't handle anybody else your own size.
It's just consistently. I mean, I'm hearing about even like in places down in Arizona. Like right now in Arizona, they're having like a lot of like, I won't call it intimidation, but they're parked right across the street, got their trucks out, got their flags out, and kind of almost on a intimidating kind of a look. You know what I mean? Like, these, you got women going. I got like, my daughter and her mother, they're going to vote. And at the end of the day, you know what I mean? You look at it and they're being like stared down by different people trying to like intimidate them with their Trump hats on or whatever else they got on. So, I mean, this is a real problem. We're hearing about, I think this year we've heard about more voter intimidation and voter ballot destruction. You know what I mean? They had a thing over in I think it was in Pennsylvania where they had this video that came out and it was showing like this guy destroying ballots, right? Like destroying ballots that were supposed to go out. Yeah. Then it got debunked by the Pennsylvania, like the state voting board or whatever, or legislation, or whatever, saying that this isn't real. It was Russian kind of propaganda, that it wasn't really ballots being destroyed because they could tell you because the way the ballots looked and there was inconsistencies in the ballot. You know what I mean? The way it's supposed to look. Yeah. And this is what's going on right now. We're being fed a lot of stuff. Everyone's talking about, they're going to steal the election. The only people who've ever stolen anything in an election that I know about is when Donald Trump sent in fake electors into 7 states to act as real electors so he can say, this is what the state's supposed to vote on, even though the state had already voted Democratic, voted for Joe Biden. He sent his people in. They've all been convicted or flipped on the Trump campaign. Yeah. And also he tried to overthrow the government on January 6th when he tried to make Mike Pence not sign the paperwork stating that Joe Biden was the new president. So this is the only people who I've seen actually cheat.
Now, the only people you're seeing are Republican voters trying to vote twice or vote extra and
burning ballot boxes.
I mean, it's if you can't win, you can't win. But I don't. Honestly, I can't blame them. I mean, you could if they did their own research, but all the news that they're fed, they're telling you, hey, this election was stolen from you. Donald Trump admitted twice he lost that election.
Yep.
And he said on the Joe Rogan show, look, and it's hard. I know people want to double down, but it's like we need to get to a point where it's like, hey, I admit that the information, you need to say, I admit the information I was fed was wrong, and I fed off that.
You guys are a cult.
When someone says that to you, be like, look, I forgive you.
I'm not forgiving nobody. You're a cult. You're a part of a cult, period, plain and simple. Yeah, all of y'all are. We got to be real, man. All this forgiving them, and when they're basically, man, looking to take our, they're not worried about our people as a whole. They're looking at us. They don't care what happens to us. You know what I mean? That doesn't matter to them.
No, they're talking about. They got to want to turn. They turn. I realized the information I was fed was a lie. I remember I realized everything they were telling me was a lie. You know what I'm saying? And they'd be like, hey, I apologize for feeding into that lie. And then we, as people, and they want that's you're in turn another leaf. Then we have to be like, okay, cool, man, I accept that apology. Let's work together now.
No.
You done with them.
Nah, yeah, because it got to be, man. You got to look at the truth for what it is. If you're willing to go down this kind of a hole with this type of a person, I could never trust you again. You're waiting for the next time when you can do it again. That's all you're waiting for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This isn't this. You're not apologizing because it's a real apology. This is what you really feel. He's not even the problem. It's you. You're the problem. You and people like yourself who agree with everything that's going on here and are good with this type of stuff. You told me what you're good with. You told me, fuck me, pretty much, to my face. You said this to me. So now, okay, stand on it forever. And we're no longer, I mean, even the people who look like me who want to vote for Trump, you're saying it to yourself. You were one of the people who were basically like, hey, boss, they went that away. That's who you were. And that's the kind of people that you are. People who look like me who are voting for this. That's who you are. Because there's no other reason for it. You can talk about the economic policies. What economic policies? Tell me, tax cuts. You're not making that much money to get a big tax cut to sell your people out. I mean, if money is good enough for you to sell your people out, I don't want you around me. You can't be a part of this. Period. That's how I look at it. Anyway, airlines must now give automatic refunds for significant delays. Here's what to know. Airlines are now required to give customers automatic refunds under a new Department of Transportation rule that went into effect this week. While the new regulation won't make grappling with flight delays and cancellations less hellish, you are at least guaranteed to get your money back when the airline doesn't transport you from point A to point B as promised without having to file any paperwork. The law is also designed to incentivize airlines to minimize disruptions. Department of Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg said Wednesday when the rule went into effect. When we all know that when an airline knows that all, instead of just a few, of the passengers on a canceled flight are likely to actually get their money back, it gives them a different set of reasons to put in the investment. And the realistic scheduling that makes those cancellations less likely to happen to begin with, he said. Flight cancellations this year are already below the traditional average of 2%, indicating the initiative is already having an effect, according to the DOT.
Oh, they ain't canceled the flights no more. They'll be like, nah.
They're going to have to give you your money.
You know what I mean?
That's the biggest thing, man. I guess it's like 3 hours for domestic flights and 6 hours for international flights. They got to automatically give you your money back.
Good.
Automatically. Break bread with me.
You still get your flight?
Huh?
And you still get your flight?
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You have to look a little deeper into that one. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure they have to. I mean, you don't have to ask for your money back, so they got to give you your money back regardless. So I'm pretty sure they probably have to give you the flight too. You know what I mean? It's got to break bread with me. I'm saying, for the first time, the rule set a standard for what constitutes a significant change to a flight. Previously, definitions varied from one carrier to another. A significant change in flight now includes a 3-hour or longer delay for domestic flights and at least a 6-hour delay on international flights. If an airline changes a flight departure or arrival airport or adds a connection, that also counts. Let me see. I don't know. It says, is there any kind of downgrades, baggage delays, refunds, or non-working Wi-Fi? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but this is like, when you look at, this is what you talk about. Democrats don't do anything for anybody. This is the kind of stuff the Democrats do. This doesn't seem like a big thing. Maybe if you don't fly.
No, I mean, remember they had all those flight cancellations. I remember people were stuck in Vegas for a couple of days. They had to rent a car and dip.
The last few times I'm supposed to have flew, I mean, they've canceled my flights or delayed it so that when I would have got here past the time there was an airport or anything for me to take. So I'd have been stuck. You know what I mean? I remember when I just came back from Belize just here not too long ago, they're basically telling me, oh, well, we're going to fly you to Houston, but you're going to be stuck there overnight. You're going to have to get a hotel. You're going to have to get you all that kind of stuff. I'm like, man, I'm not trying to be stuck in Houston for a night. And so I just went somewhere else instead. You know what I mean? It's like, here, take me over. We're going to have to charge you for that. I said, no, you're not going to charge me for that because I'm supposed to be taking me home. Huh?
Where'd they fly you to?
To Arizona. Instead, I made them take me to Arizona. I was like, might as well go there. You know what I mean? Like, why not? If I'm going to be stuck, I'm not doing it. So, but anyway, I mean, people don't understand. Like, we give the airlines a lot of money. Them out during the, I mean, not only just bail them out, we subsidize the airlines like we subsidize farmers, like we subsidize food manufacturers. We subsidize them. That's why they treat us like shit. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. You know, they don't care. You know what I mean? And so these kind of rules matter. This is the kind of stuff that only the federal government can do. This is what people don't understand. The government shouldn't be involved in. We don't have enough power because people say, well, stop flying. You stop flying. You ain't going nowhere. That's why you saying stop flying. There's people who have to fly for work.
Yeah,
people who have to
a lot
do
of people
stuff.
don't leave their houses, bro. That's why they complaining. They be like, "Why y'all doing this? You're changing my town." Like, bro, you don't even do nothing. You stay at home all day and watch TV and complain about what everyone else is. Why y'all out there having fun?
But this is a hell of a good law right here. This is something small, but this is the kind of stuff that we should be doing with food manufacturers, grocery stores. We should be telling them, hey, you know what? We're going to put some new laws in place. The reason why the federal government could do this is because, first of all, they run transportation. On top of that, it's because we subsidize airlines. Airlines wouldn't even exist if it were not for the American public. Not just saying because we're paying them to fly, but the federal government gives them money because it's basically like it's an important industry to kind of keep America moving.
Yeah.
So we have to keep it in place. That's why we don't get rid of U.S. Steel, even though it doesn't make money.
New York.
One more time.
I mean, nobody has. I mean, the planes work out because nobody wants to take a train. You ain't got time for it no more.
Nah, we don't have high speed rail here in this country. We're about to get our first one under who brought it? The Biden administration just paid for our first high speed rail that we have in this country, going to be put in California. You know what I mean? So let's stop acting like things are not happening. Things are not being done through his infrastructure project that they passed. So, you know what I mean? Build Back Better plan. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I could go on and on with this. You know what I mean? When it comes to what Democrats do or what.
Yeah, we could. Well, let's talk about what some other Democrats do, sir. I'm going to let you do this one because that's your guy.
No. Which way are you talking about?
All right, hold on. I got you.
You got it. Go ahead.
Young Thug changes plea to guilty in Georgia's longest-running criminal trial. Atlanta rap star Young Thug changed his plea to guilty Thursday in Georgia's longest-running criminal trial, but averted prison time with probation, bringing a stunning close to a chapter of a case that riveted court watchers for nearly 2 years. The plea change by the rapper, whose real name is Jeffery Williams, appeared on the brink of not happening after Supreme Court Judge Paige Whitaker asked if he agreed to a non-negotiable plea. That means prosecutors and defense could not come to a sentencing deal, and the judge would ultimately decide his punishment. The parties returned with a brief recess, and Young Thug agreed to plead guilty to drug and gun-related charges and no contest to charges of conspiracy and participating in street gangs. Whitaker sentenced him to 40 years that would have forced him to serve 5 years in prison, but she commuted it to time served. In addition, he must complete 15 years of probation, which can result in 20 years to be served in custody if probation is not successful. Also, he has to, besides that, Thug has to stay out of the metro Atlanta area for the next 10 years, besides for weddings, funerals, or graduations. And he must make a live anti-gun and anti-gang violent presentation 4 times a year. It can be a benefit concert.
Yeah, he has to do it. There's a lot of stipulations. I mean, he
15
grew up.
years, though, on probation.
It's like what they do to everybody who lives down. This is what they did to Meek Mill. That's why they kept on putting him back in jail. How do you put somebody on a 20-year probation?
That's
it's
crazy.
Like they do this intentionally. Then they put you right back into the same neighborhoods because these guys are stars. At least they have money. They can go and move somewhere else. What they do to people who are poor is they put them right back into the same poor community and say, stay away from drug zones. And the whole community is a drug zone. They have nothing. They just got out of prison. They have nothing at all. This is what's been going on.
That's wild.
I mean, at the end of the day,
they were giving all the way. They had the one YSL dude. They gave him 15 years probation. He messed up in a couple months,
and they broke him off.
You're basically a slave to the system.
He had a gun or something like that. Basically, they're putting, like I said, it was his brother. I think it was.
Okay.
I think it was one of Thug's brothers or something like that, or one of his partners. I think it was.
It was one of the YSL dudes, but yeah, they threw him right back in there.
They broke him off. I think it was like Unfolk or something like that. I think that was his name or something like that. But anyway, the point of it is they put you right back into these same exact communities where it's already like the whole community is a drug zone. Everybody that you know, a lot of them have felonies or have been in trouble of some sort. Don't communicate with felons. Who are you going to talk to? Where are you going to live? You know what I mean? It's like they set you up to reoffend so they can put you right back in there and break you off with the time.
They're like, why felons can't talk to each other? Why? What are they going to plot to do new crimes?
They put you in jail. Why they even put you in jail then? You're around nothing but felons. That's the biggest criminal school that there possibly could be.
No, they say like when you get
jail.
free, you can't congregate with felons. I'm like, how do you even know somebody's a felon? How do you even know? Like, I mean, they can get you on anything. It's cold game. 15 years probation is wild.
Yeah.
I'd be like, 5 years maybe. I understand.
I mean,
15 years, bro.
When they're looking at the case, I really believe that
they're making sure that he never does what he was doing, what they accused him of again. That's basically what's happening.
I look at it like this. I look at it like the prosecution team. They offered him 15 years probation That's what they just offered him without all that extra time, without any of that other stuff.
Yeah.
Just 15 years probation. They offered him that before, but they had a bunch of other stipulations that he would not agree to.
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, I'm not going to take that." And that's why they came up with the non-negotiated plea deal, which would mean that what the judge says goes. It's not already negotiated between the prosecution and the defense. And so he wouldn't agree because they said some stuff like he couldn't do certain things and he couldn't do shows and he couldn't rap anymore. They're trying to take away his whole entire career and basically make it so he couldn't even make music with Gunna, who's one of his artists, one of his most popular artists, who had one of the biggest songs of the year last year, I believe it was. You know what I mean? That Fuck You Mean. I think so. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you really can't. He couldn't take that deal. So, but I believe that the prosecuting attorney, they wanted this case to be settled. They knew that they couldn't win. They had already tainted the case so badly. The judge knew it also. So that's why, you know, when during Thug's kind of his I won't say it called a closing argument, but he was like speaking for himself before they passed judgment. He was like, "No, I appreciate you. You're like a lifesaver to the judge," because the judge probably forced him in, like, "Hey, we want this thing to be over with. You guys, there's a good chance that we're not going to win. We can't have a L like this on our record as far as prosecution is concerned. And you have an ugly case over here where you already had to get rid of one of our judges already because it was found that he was meeting with the prosecution behind the defense attorney's back, which is illegal." You know what I mean? And trying to make deals with witnesses behind the defense attorney's back. So it's already a messed up case with so many things that can be appealed on. That they're like, here, just go ahead and let's plead this thing out and get this over with. Period. You're not.
I mean, they took a lot. I mean, they're going to make basically he's on probation. They're going to make sure that he's never able to do anything. But I need to see the stipulations of his probation. Like, what can he do? Can he still drink and smoke?
No,
can he
he has to take drug tests. No, when you're on probation, you can't drink.
It depends.
For the first 3 years, it's supervised probation for, I forget for how many years, but it's for 3 years he has to take drug tests. After that, you can take all drugs you want to take. After 3 years, because you're no longer on that level, you don't have to go and take piss tests, pretty much. So, I mean, after that, you can do that. But, man, 3 years, man, you better go ahead and sit them 3 years out. That's what you better do. You know what I mean? Other than that, I mean, he said he can be around guns if it's a part of a security team or if it's a part of like somebody who's licensed security team or a part of another performance. He can go out and perform internationally. He can go out and perform in the States too. He's got man. You know what I mean? Like, it could have been life. Yeah. If this would have went bad, this could have been life. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day,
got him. I mean, the whole thing. If they couldn't have won the court case,
go home today.
Yeah.
Go home today. I'm like, where do I sign, baby? Where do I sign? They told me that. I'm like,
I need a cheeseburger and some
right pussy. Now. You know what I'm saying? So I get to go home right now. That's how they get most people. Now they got a conviction out of something they probably would have lost.
Got one. Yeah, but he was go home today or sit here longer.
And then possibly get life. Because Woody's ass and fucked up a couple times on the stand already.
I'm like, do I have to stay in Atlanta, in Georgia?
No, he's not allowed to live in Atlanta no more. For 10 years, he's not allowed to even go inside of the Atlanta.
Cool.
I wouldn't care either. I would care kind of because that's where all my family is. He's from Atlanta. Imagine being from somewhere and you cannot return for 10 years.
I know a dude out here that can't come back here right now.
For what?
He's stuck in Hawaii. I ain't going to tell him. That's the homie. He's stuck in Hawaii, though. He can't come back because he messed up so much they won't let him come back to the States.
He is in the States. He's in Hawaii. That's a part of the United States, man. He can come back to the States. He lives in the United States as it is right now. I'm not sure what that means.
Look here, sir.
You probably can't come back to Washington State. I get what you're saying.
He can't come back to Washington State. No, he's not allowed to fly back to the States. He's not allowed to leave the Hawaii Islands.
Well, he tripped him. He better go ahead and make the best of it then.
That's what I'm saying. Like the Young Thug, I'm like, all right, cool, I'm going to Florida.
If he can get a passport, he can go other places. I mean, you're in Hawaii. You're halfway to go into Thailand, other places like that. Go ahead and hop on a plane.
In France?
Get up out of it, huh?
He can leave internationally, right?
Who?
Look, Young Thug.
Yeah, he can go. He can perform and go anywhere.
I'm gone. I'm gone.
He can go live his life. You can put me. Listen, man. I'm about to be in a cocoon. I'm never doing nothing else messed up again, bro. I'm about to make 1 million songs with everybody and try to make $100 million in the next year because everyone's gonna go mess with Thug right now. Yeah. And Thug actually could rap. He was good. He's not like Bobby. Bobby Shmurda was good. He had a couple good songs. He had a time. Thug is good. You know what I mean? He's actually he's actually been around.
Bobby Shmurda couldn't rap.
He made the one He made the one song. All I'm saying is he only had one song in it.
He didn't make the song. It was the dance.
But he only had one song is what I'm saying. Like a lot of these guys, when they went to jail and they got back out.
Bobby, bitch.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm about to catch a body.
Hey, this is what I'm saying to you. So, but when he got out, that was over with, though. That 7 year, they took all that out of Bobby. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, nobody wants. I mean, even right now, bro, they're talking about the new Lil Uzi Vert album. Like, he fell off. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna grow up and not like that music. Thug got lucky. He got lucky. He was visible for 2 years.
And,
So everyone's waiting
at
for
the
him.
same time, his music is just different. If you go listen to, what's it called, the Barter, the first one that he made, that one, you go listen to that, and then go listen to Thug later when he started making songs with like real other pop artists. When he was making,
I wasn't a Thug fan. The only song I liked by him was a song he did with Cordae.
I
mean, lifestyle.
I'm not
was
saying
cool.
I was a huge Thug fan, but Thug made a lot of really good music, and he actually sold a lot of records. He streamed a lot, and Thug was big, man.
Yeah,
he
was.
You know what I'm saying?
He was a
Pushing
big
P,
artist.
all that kind of stuff. They were big. That was a huge movement, and he had Gunna.
Yeah.
Gunna was monster size. I'm saying, let's be real.
So they're gonna still be cool with, and it was crazy. Everybody got on Gunna like he snitched. He just.
I'm gonna tell you what I told
him. Young
everybody.
Thug said on the stand, he's like, "Look, I still want to work with Gunna." And,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
He made sure, but this is what I told everybody from the beginning. Man, when anybody who's a boss is in a situation, I got my whole crew in this situation, I'm going to start peeling them off like that too if it's me. Don't tell nobody I told you to do this, but I'm about to have my attorney make sure he talks to y'all. If you guys can walk, get out of here right now. The less people I got to deal with catching charges and then having to flip on me, the better it is for me.
And his
Get the
lawyer's
hell out of
looking
here.
like, I'm about to make so much money in the A.
And just in case I need you on the street getting some money right now, Gunna, go handle your business. But you can't tell nobody because they're going to use it against me. If you're like, Gunna said, a Thug said do this. Now I am the boss because I said do this. I'm giving you a direct order to do something. So now I am the boss of YSL, which is a gang and everything else. So go get up out of here. Say whatever you got to say to get out of here. Get out of here. So I ain't got to deal with 40 other dudes who facing charges and might be like, man, I've been in here for a year and a half. They're about to give me 20. I'm telling. Get out of here.
Yeah, there's
That's what a
another
boss
artist
does.
that pleaded the day before him.
Yeah, there's a couple more people. I think like 4 people, like 2 days before that.
That's kind of like The Wire. It's kind of like The Wire, right? If you watch the last season, they got them off. They put a fake wire up or an illegal wire.
Yeah.
And so they got them all on that, right? And then then the lawyer was like, "Nah, something don't seem right." And he called him out on it. But the only thing that stopped him is because it had a tape of Levy accepting. What was it? He was taking paperwork from the court, grand jury stuff, where he was warning people before they were about to indict him.
Yeah.
And so that's the only reason. But they let Marlowe go because he was like, "Yo, no, Marlowe walks, the other ones take the hit." And what's the name? Pleads all the bodies in the thing.
Yeah,
but he
Chris.
was like, but the lawyer Levy was like, "Look, man," he's like, "Oh, we're gonna make so much money because we just got the dude off a fucking or a RICO charge or whatever."
Yeah, his lawyer was like, I don't think he should have took this charge, but he played his role the way he's supposed to. He's supposed to say that.
Yeah.
But you want to get you because he's thinking, we could beat this. But I'm like, am I going to take a chance on my life right now?
Well, the case was weak, bro. It's like
It was weak, but you know what I'm not going to do? I've already had 100 people walk up here talking about, you got the little dude, Wyatt Slime Life, like, yeah, I did it like it was a gang. There's too much talk. I don't know what the jury's going to say right now. There's been too many conversations. Woody, I don't know if they believe you or not, or they just think that you're just some type of clown trying to get me off now after you went in here and said about murder this, murder that, told me to go do this. Thug said this. There's too much talk about Thug
that
and
boy
me.
Woody ain't gonna make it out the next year.
Woody's a killer. He gonna do what he gonna do. I'm allegedly.
I don't know why
Allegedly.
he's
I don't
so
know if he
famous
is or not.
right now.
I mean, because if you look at him, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't like rats, but I like. I'm gonna say I like Woody, but I like Woody's all right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's a rat though. He's a rat. I mean, you can't say it to him because he might knock you down about it.
That don't mean nothing. Just because you're a rat that can fight, don't make you stop being a rat. You
I
gonna
didn't
hang
say
out with
that
him
he
and
wasn't
tell
a
him
rat.
personal stuff.
I wasn't saying he's not a rat. You never heard that come out of my mouth. I said he's this, but I mean, cats ain't. You know, he really was what like. It say like there's a song I,
there's
can't
no
remember
honor
what it
amongst
is.
there's no honor amongst thieves
Yes, there
anyways.
is. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Not amongst all. Don't get it twisted, but there is honor amongst them. You know what I mean, it doesn't mean that it's going to apply to all because some of them are just thieves.
Yeah.
Some guys do just like the limelight. I know people. I mean, allegedly, I've heard things where it's like, I mean, this dude helped this dude out greatly, and then all of a sudden, he don't want to go do the time. That's on you. Listen,
yeah,
this is
that's
on
a
you.
snitch right there. Somebody do you a solid. You get caught doing something. Now you telling on the person that helped you. That's snitching.
But
That's
it's
what I
normal.
call snitching.
It's normal.
But
It's
if you're
normal,
a civilian
man.
and you're getting harassed by a gangster and you don't do gangster stuff, it's okay to call the police.
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
why
that's-
you pay taxes.
That's
Remember
different.
that, folks.
Those are two separate things.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, Uncommon Courtesy, 1 p.m. Sunday. Catch us Fridays at 7 because 7 to 9 because we're gonna be doing wild stuff. We're gonna talk about sports. We're gonna use the channel to be the channel. You know what I'm saying? So by the time you see this, it'll probably be too late. But catch us every Friday, 7 p.m. every Sunday, 1 p.m. Pacific time. Uncommon Courtesy, we out.